knows that Miss Rabbit is the character in the cartoon world with the most different jobs. But do you know which one is the toughest or most dangerous? Or which one is the most fun? Official Rescuer. Undoubtedly, the riskiest job Miss Rabbit has to perform among her more than 100 different jobs is rescuing people and animals in danger, while managing all her other jobs at the same time. The best example of this is when she's piloting the helicopter, which is already a very complicated profession, and still manages to rescue Mommy Pig. Or when she's working as a librarian but receives an emergency call to rescue a turtle that somehow, in a bizarre way, managed to get stuck in a tree. Performing these rescues requires Miss Rabbit to have skills worthy of a superhero, and the most incredible thing is that she does this in between her other 99 jobs, and some of them are really amazing. Firefighter. And since Miss Rabbit already has experience in performing the most difficult rescues, as we've seen, almost Mission Impossible level, she would certainly be the right person to be the chief of the fire department in Peppa Pig City. There, she managed to assemble a team with several ladies from the city, including Mommy Pig, to respond to fire incidents. The detail is that probably this was the most relaxed job of Miss Rabbit, since she had never put out any fires until the day the parents decided to have a barbecue. And between us, there was no real fire. But surely driving a fire truck and leading a team is something that requires a lot of skill, so that's why she's the #1 firefighter in the city.
Now, we just have to wait for a fire.
How long do we have to wait?
Just to clear up any doubts, the Miss Rabbit we see in the fire department and in all the other jobs on this list is different from Mommy Rabbit, who is Rebecca and Richard's mother. In fact, they are twin sisters. But Miss Rabbit of the 100 jobs is not married and does not have children, at least as far as we know. Souvenir Seller. We all know that several of Miss Rabbit's jobs involve customer service and selling products, like when she's at the supermarket checkout, which is normal considering she's the only one who does that in her town and even in other parts of her own country. But when Peppa and her family go to Paris, who do they find at the base of the Eiffel Tower? That's right, Miss Rabbit. She even disguises herself and says her name is Mademoiselle Le Pen, which is actually Miss Rabbit's name, just in French. So, deep down, she's the same person. The question is, how does she manage to hold jobs in different countries? That's definitely a mystery.
I didn't know you had a job here, Miss Rabbit.
Excusez-moi, I am not this Miss Rabbit.
If you're also curious and think the same Miss Rabbit from Peppa City is the same as the one we see at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, comment down below, #Rabbit. But if you think it's not the same, comment #Le Pen. We want to see your opinion down here. Aquarium Cleaner. Honestly, I think having our character as an employee must be every business owner's dream, since besides being very fast and efficient, she can also be considered a multitasking worker. This becomes very clear in the episode where Peppa's family goes to the aquarium to find a companion for Goldie, the pig family's goldfish. When they get there, they are greeted and assisted by, of course, Miss Rabbit. And so far, everything is normal. The detail is that when they are inside exploring the place, it seems like there's a kind of rabbitfish inside one of the aquariums. But shortly after, we can see that it's actually another one of Miss Rabbit's duties, cleaning the aquariums from the inside. Truly, there are no difficult jobs for this character. But if she's cleaning the aquarium, who's at the reception selling tickets? What a tough life, Miss Rabbit. Magnetic Crane Operator. And it seems that one of Miss Rabbit's main skills is indeed operating vehicles and equipment. Another one of her most difficult jobs, without a doubt, is the job at the junkyard, where she operates the giant magnet equipment used to pick up old cars and move them to other locations, the magnetic crane. Certainly, this is a job that requires a lot of skill and attention to avoid accidents. After all, cars are big and heavy. Moreover, operating a crane requires specific training and a good amount of experience. Did she manage to obtain this certification before or after her driver's license? Helicopter pilot. Certainly, driving a fire truck and a school bus require a lot of practice and skill, and we know that Miss Rabbit can do this very well. But as we mentioned, in her rescue profession, we see that the character often needs to use the helicopter for situations that require actions in the air. The detail is that many people don't even realize, but to get a helicopter pilot's license, extensive and complex training is required, with almost 200 hours of flight and very advanced training being necessary. And from the maneuvers we see Miss Rabbit performing, it's obvious that she really has a lot of skill as a helicopter pilot. The question that remains is, how did she have time to learn to pilot helicopters so well and obtain her commercial license, since she has so many jobs?
Oh, it can even loop the loop.
Airplane pilot. If being a helicopter pilot requires many hours of training and flight, being an airplane pilot requires even more, especially for intercontinental trips like flights from London to the United States to New York. And that's exactly what we see Miss Rabbit doing in the episode where they visit Hollywood. She's the pilot responsible for flying the plane between the two countries, which have a distance of 3,100 miles. And to obtain a license for a job like this, the character must have accumulated at least 250 hours of flight and a lot of training. Really, after seeing this, I'm sure there's nothing Miss Rabbit can't do. She's truly fantastic. And if you think so too, we have a special invitation for you. Click the subscription button below and join our team of cartoon and animation movie fans. This way, you won't miss our upcoming videos full of news. Taxi driver. Right after the Pig family lands in American soil, we can see one of the most complex scenes of Peppa Pig, two Miss Rabbits at the same time. That's because the English Miss Rabbit accompanies Peppa's family to the place where they will take a taxi. But when they get there, they are assisted by another Miss Rabbit, but a version from the USA. This proves that indeed, when it comes to different continents, there are other Miss Rabbits. But I think in the USA, it's the same character that appears every time, just like with Peppa's official character. The fact is that to be a taxi driver in New York, a lot of patience and skill are required, since the city of the Statue of Liberty has one of the busiest traffic centers in the world. But the detail is that this same Miss Rabbit from the United States has the same fate as all Miss Rabbits, since she is also elevator operator. Really, the number of jobs that Miss Rabbit, whether American or English, has is frightening. We see that the same person who drove the Pig family to the Empire State Building literally runs to also be the elevator operator of the elevator they will use to reach the top of the building, and changes only her hat, already assuming a new role. The job of elevator operator makes you responsible for guiding people inside elevators, and although it's not as popular as it used to be, it still exists in some buildings. Moreover, as if that weren't enough, while she and Peppa's family are going up to the top of the building, we see that she still assumes another role in just those few seconds of ascent, that of ice cream seller inside the elevator. And it really works, since she manages to sell ice cream to the children, which makes me think that indeed, in each job she must earn a salary. So, Miss Rabbit must be one of the richest people in the entire Peppa Pig show. Restaurant owner. The funny thing is that on this same visit when the pigs go to America to participate in Super Potato's movie, on the way, they stop to ask for directions at a restaurant on the roadside. And guess who's there? Herself, our character of the 100 Jobs. She claims that she really is called Miss Rabbit, but that in fact, she's someone else. But probably she's the same Miss Rabbit from America. Of course, we don't believe her, right? So we see that she manages a diner that serves meals to visitors and at the same time has space where people can listen to country music and dance. I think Miss Rabbit is the most international professional there is, since we see her working in England, France, and even in the United States. That's really liking to work and travel at the same time. And because she works so much and has so many challenging jobs, in a special episode of Peppa Pig, we see that Miss Rabbit was considered the person who works the most in all of England, by none other than the Queen herself. So, the exemplary worker was invited to go to the palace of the English sovereign to receive a medal. And, at least until now, that was the only day the character didn't work. Although she drove a bus full of children to the Queen's palace, which is basically the same job as a school transportation driver. Really, I think she'll only rest in the future. Poor Miss Rabbit. Really, Miss Rabbit's life must be a great challenge. After all, juggling all these roles and jobs requires a lot of organization. And really, I think Miss Rabbit has some clones to handle all of this. We're leaving 2 incredible videos for you to watch right now. You just need to choose one of the 2 and click on it. That way, we'll continue together in our next video. See you there, thanks, and until next time.